Hi there, Tactical Family. If you spent any time in the firearms community, you've probably heard someone talking about building versus buying an AR-15. And to the uninitiated, building your own AR sounds like it could be pretty daunting. I'm here to tell you it's not particularly hard, but it might not be the way you personally want to go for your first rifle. Hopefully by the end of this, though, you'll know which option is right for you. For some background on my experience with the platform, I've been shooting, tinkering with, and wrenching together ARs for myself and for other people since I was about 19. So I've learned a few things over the years about these guns. And here is my biggest piece of advice. Buy stuff from reputable manufacturers. You don't always have to buy the absolute top shelf parts available, but as long as you're purchasing from a reputable company that will stand behind their product, you're pretty much good to go. Buying a random red anodized handguard off of Temu is not the world's best idea. Now, if you guys want a whole video of me talking about my favorite AR and part manufacturers, let me know. I've shot kind of a lot of them at this point, and I've worked on a bunch more too. So, let's start with the first point in favor of building an AR yourself. California's firearms excise tax situation. As we all know, California slaps an extra 11% fee on top of sales tax and all the other fees you have to pay when purchasing a firearm in the Golden State. But when you build your own AR, you purchase the lower receiver on its own, which is the serialized part of the gun, and you only pay the extra tax on this little bit rather than a complete firearm. Obviously, this is still considered a firearm though, so you go through the same purchase process either way. But depending on the rifle you're looking at, this can add up to a pretty substantial savings. Paying an extra 11% on a $2,000 Daniel Defense versus on a $100 stripped lower from a reputable manufacturer isn't an insignificant amount of money. That's almost a week's worth of groceries these days. Now, building an AR-15 sounds more complicated than it usually is, though depending on how much of the rifle you want to assemble yourself and the configuration you want, some bits can get a little tricky and require more specialized tools. So let me break it down. Starting where you really should, the lower receiver. Throwing together a lower receiver is actually fairly easy, even if you aren't exactly the most handy person in the world. You're installing a lower parts kit, trigger group, safety selector, bolt catch, magazine release, pistol grip, and buffer tube assembly, and some little pins and springs and things. There's hundreds of videos walking through this process step by step all over the internet. The only real specialized tool you'll need for a lower receiver build is a castle nut wrench. The castle nut secures the buffer tube, this little guy right here, and you'll need something to get a grip on there and torque it down properly. But these wrenches aren't expensive, and they're solid options for under 20 bucks. And any basic armorer's toolkit worth buying includes one. Everything else in the lower build, punches, roll pin starter, maybe a lower vise block to hold it steady. Those are cheap, widely available, and honestly optional if you're willing to get a little creative. The very first AR lower I put together was at my mom's kitchen table, and other than the basic punches and an $8 castle nut wrench from the local gun store, I didn't really have any special tools. Now, this isn't the easiest way to do this, but trust me, it can be done. Oh, also, if you're installing a fixed rifle stock and the fixed rifle stock buffer tube, you don't even need the castle nut wrench. Now, the upper receiver, on the other hand, is a little bit of a different animal. Installing the barrel correctly involves torque specs, proper gas tube alignment, greasing the threads on the upper receiver extension, deciding if you want to lap the receiver face, making sure your handguard is going to work with your upper receiver, since sometimes you run into issues with billet receivers being different from mil-spec forged ones, and sometimes you have to time the barrel nut with shims depending on how the handguard attaches. I've timed an Arrow bar nut, for instance, that's designed to let you adapt their enhanced handguards to a standard AR upper, and I have to say, I don't particularly want to do that again. Now, none of this is insurmountable. All it takes is some time researching the parts, or, you can ask your friends what's worked for them. Also, if they have the tools, you could probably borrow them, or maybe even borrow your friend who's willing to help out. That can be a great option. But if you're just looking to build one rifle and you have to buy all the tools, you'll find that you aren't really saving any money anymore. The tooling to assemble an upper receiver properly, if you don't have everything, can run up close to $200 depending on the quality of the tools. So here's what I think most first-time builders should probably do. Just buy a complete upper. Complete uppers from reputable manufacturers in most of the country ship directly to your door. Though here in California, since it has a barrel attached to it, you'll have to ship it to your FFL and it's subject to the background check like ammunition. However, it is not subject to that 11% excise tax at time of recording. These have already been assembled, usually test fired, and as long as you're ordering from a reputable company, they're going to stand behind their product, especially if you have any issues. Though most manufacturers of individual parts will stand behind their product as well, it's still kind of on you to diagnose exactly what the problem you're having is. Buying the whole upper, you have one company to deal with, and issues are generally rare. And the dirty secret of the parts market is that unless you're building something really specific and unusual, you can almost always find a complete upper already configured the way you would have built it anyway, and it's almost always going to be cheaper or nearly the same price as you would have paid to build it yourself from its component parts. Not to mention that if you want to install a traditional AR front sight base, you need some much more specialized tools to drill and pin it properly. Now, personally, I've done it both ways. Usually because I wanted something really specific that nobody was really making, or just because I'd gotten, deals on random parts over the years. I mean, I've talked about this upper in another video. I bought it complete because I literally could not have built it cheaper with the quality of parts that are involved in this one. One last note on building over buying. This rifle here I actually bought. It was, in fact, my first semi-auto rifle that I bought back when I think I was 19. Now, I'll roll in an image here of what it used to look like. A little bit different now, huh? I think the only original parts left in this gun are the physical upper, lower, buffer tube, and maybe some of the pins and detents. I use this to point out that tinkering with your guns is a thing that tends to happen when you buy a gun off the shelf. You'll find as you shoot your guns more and more, you'll develop a preference in how you like them set up and what works best for you. Now, if you do build your first rifle and start acquiring the tools and skills you need to be your own armorer, it does make it much easier to change things down the road, if you find that you want to. Also, working on your own guns gives you a greater personal insight into how they work and what's going wrong when they sometimes stop working. And since I know a lot of you guys are in California like me, we have to worry about compliance parts. And that's another reason I personally like to build the guns myself, since then I can use whatever compliance parts I want that'll work with whatever the use case is I have for that particular rifle. Like I've talked about featureless guns before, particularly for competition. Now, I have a whole separate video about how I like to configure California compliant ARs, and I'll put the link down in the description if any of you folks are curious in hearing more about that. But, the short version is I personally like featureless builds for most practical use cases. Like I was saying, featureless, competition, it just makes sense. You need to be able to change magazines. Fixed mag builds are cool, but it's mostly a range toy at this point. Now, all that said, there are still plenty of good reasons to just buy your first AR in a store already California compliant and ready to shoot. A complete rifle from a reputable manufacturer has been function tested before it's shipped. It's pretty much guaranteed to work out of the box. It has a warranty through one company rather than you having to diagnose exactly which part has gone wrong or is out of spec. It's already in a legal configuration for your state. There's one transaction, one background check, and you're done. No waiting for separate shipments from different vendors. No Sunday afternoon with a parts kit spread across your workbench trying to figure out exactly how to get everything together. For someone who just wants a working rifle and has zero interest in the actual assembly process of the AR-15 itself, that's an entirely reasonable choice. Also, I know I mentioned buying a rifle, you have a warranty, but I really want to drive this home because it's probably the most compelling point for just buying a factory gun. A self-assembled rifle has no manufacturer warranty on the final product. Individual components carry their own warranties, but if something fails and you can't figure out whether it's a parts defect or a personal oopsie-daisy, you're doing that diagnosis yourself or you're paying a gunsmith to do it. Lots of California-compliant factory ARs and other semi-automatic rifles exist. Plenty of manufacturers make guns geared towards the California market. You're just going to be more limited in your choices. There is one big point in favor of buying a complete factory-built gun is also they're usually much easier to sell if you find yourself in a situation where you have to. People are usually skeptical of anyone's self-assembled firearms unless they know the builder personally. A factory gun with a warranty is always going to be easier to sell. I mean, it's no different than modifying your car. People would much rather have a stock car and tweak on it themselves, rather than buy something that you don't know how well someone installed all these aftermarket parts. So what should you do? Build or buy? For the first-time buyer in California, the build path probably makes the most financial sense, assuming you just plan on assembling a lower receiver and buying a complete upper. The investment in tools to assemble a lower is very low, and I would wager most of you guys have nearly everything lying around if you've ever done any work with your hands around the house. We're really just talking some punches, Allen wrenches, and maybe a screwdriver. There's plenty of videos online showing you how to assemble an AR lower step by step, and I promise it's really not that hard if you take your time with it. And if you keep at it, you'll wind up like me, where you essentially can throw one of these things together while barely paying attention anymore. Just make sure you don't do something like install the hammer spring underneath the trigger pin and watch those takedown pin detents. They like to try and escape into orbit if you aren't careful. But if you just want a gun that works and don't mind paying that 11% on top of everything else, there's nothing wrong with that. I totally understand just wanting something that works out of the box, and if it has issues, you have a warranty that says, "This isn't my problem, fix it for me." For me, building and understanding how firearms work is part of what makes this fun, and I think the knowledge that you gain from a deeper understanding of your favorite firearm is a good thing. But I know that isn't everyone's cup of tea, so really it's up to you. But if you have a free afternoon and access to the internet, I think any of you could probably wrench together a rifle that you would be proud of. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful or at least entertaining, consider supporting the channel on Patreon. The link is down in the description, and we have a Discord server, and I'm chronically online, and always happy to help you troubleshoot a new build. As always, I've been the 2A Tactical Dad, and as I like to say, we could all be a little more free and a lot more self-reliant. All it takes is a little responsibility. Also, guys, if you spend any time around other gun people, I can just about guarantee you know somebody who can put together an AR for you and has all the tools. Though, in my circle of friends, it's usually me.